Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Ask Amber.
Run it.
In these videos, people submit questions for me to answer as it pertains to finances. In today's episode, we will be discussing credit. Alright, so now I'm going to pick a question from our box. What is a credit score? So a credit score is basically a number that determines whether or not a creditor should trust you when deciding whether or not to lend you money in regards to purchasing a car, a home, or maybe even acquiring a new credit card. Alright, so I'm about to answer another question. Here we go. What impacts your credit score? That's a great question. I remember going to college and maxing out all of my credit cards. So when it was time for me to purchase a car, my credit score was low. Alright, so there's several things that impact your credit score, but I'm only going to list about 3 of them. One is paying your bills late. So if you don't have the money to pay your bills, at least try to pay the minimum. Although I don't advise that, I would advise always paying more than the minimum, because when you pay the minimum, you're only paying on the interest and not on the balance of your card. Make sure that you pay your bills on time. The second thing that impacts your credit score is not paying your debt. So let's say you go to the hospital and the hospital send you a bill and you decide, hey, I'm not paying this hospital bill, right? The hospital can continue to try to work things out with you, or they can just report to the credit bureaus that you did not pay your bill. And once that hits your credit score, it goes into collections, and that also brings your credit score down. So make sure that whatever bills you have, especially if you owe the company money, make sure that you're able to pay those bills, or you negotiate like a payment plan to ensure that that bill is being paid on time so that it doesn't hit your credit score. So another thing that severely impacts your credit is how much credit you use on your credit card. All right, so you can expect for your credit score to drop if you're maximizing or maxing out your credit card. So the key rule is whenever you receive a credit card, never spend more than 30% of your balance.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? That's a good question. So let's say you go to the bank and they give you $1,000 credit card limit. So you do not, just because you receive a credit card limit of $1,000 doesn't mean you spend the whole $1,000 on your credit card. You want to use at least 30% or no more than 30% of your credit card limit. So if you receive a credit card with $1,000 limit on it, 30% of $1,000 is $300. So you should discipline yourself to not spend any more than $300 on your credit card. Alright, so how does a bad credit score impact you? Wow. So when you have a bad credit score, it really gets in the way of you being able to have purchasing power. Alright, so when I was younger, I wanted to purchase a car. However, I could not purchase a car with low payments or even get the car that I wanted because my credit score sucked. All right, so you want to make sure that you're monitoring your credit and that you're doing things to build your credit up so that you can get the best rates. Also, if you have poor credit, it gets in the way of you acquiring assets. A huge asset is purchasing a house. With most home lenders, your credit score has to be at least a 650, and even if you have a credit score of a 650, that does not guarantee that you're going to get the best rates. So it's really important that you maintain your credit score so that you can get the best rates. People come out paying hundreds of thousands of dollars more as a result of them not maintaining their credit. All right, so remember, if you want or if you have aspirations of acquiring a house, a car, or maybe you just want to finance something, in order for you to get the best rates, you have to have good credit. Okay? Here we go. Last question. How can you improve your credit score? So, one way of improving your credit score is by starting to make monthly payments on time. Another way of improving your credit score, because I know for me, I had a lot of things in collections, and so what I did was reached out to the people who I owed money to, and I negotiated with them like, hey, I know I owe you $1,000, but I only have $400. Is it possible for me to pay $400 towards this debt that I owe you? And in return, you delete this debt off of my credit report. So please make sure that if you decide, hey, I want to pay off this debt, right? Then you reach out to the creditors, negotiate with them, and actually follow through with the deal that you and the creditor made. Also, make sure you get the negotiation or deal from the creditor in writing, so that if that item still remains on your credit report, you can submit that deal or the letter that they created for you. You can submit the letter to the credit bureaus and have them to delete it based off of what you and the creditor discussed. Another way to improve your credit is by making sure that you're not having these different creditors pull your credit report. Every time you pull your credit report, or you have someone else to pull a credit report, then it counts as a hard inquiry, and inquiries have a negative impact on your credit as well, and it doesn't fall off your credit report until 2 years later. So whenever you're shopping around for a vehicle or perhaps a house, you want to make sure that you're certain that, hey, I want to purchase a vehicle from this company, or hey, I want to purchase this house. And make sure that you're sure about those decisions that you're making, because you don't want to go from this car place to another car place to another car place. That's 3 inquiries that's going to be on your credit report, and you can be denied more credit or maybe even a loan based off of the amount of inquiries that you've made. Alright, so that's a wrap for this segment of Ask Amber. Thank you all for watching, and before moving on to the next video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Check me out on social media, the link is below. And remember, change your ratchet into an asset. We shooting green over here, that kind of spins. We running shit, you run your shit.